You ever get those ridiculous social media scams where people pretend to be somebody you're friends with and tell you you can make a lot of money? I know I do. It's why I'm very excited to partner with today's sponsor, Aura. Aura is an easy to use app that essentially packages a bunch of services to stay safe online all in one. Aura protects you from scammers and hackers. They scan the web for all sorts of data leaks and alert you as soon as they find anything. Aura is like the offensive line for a quarterback, consistently offering you protection from suspicious and malicious activity. They have VPN built in that keeps your browsing history and personal information safe and encrypted. They'll even alert you if someone's trying to open up a credit card or a loan in your name. Did I mention they protect all your devices from viruses, malware, spyware, and any other things so the bad guys can't break in? Aura can even manage what your kids do on their devices. You can set limits and restrict them from specific apps. They have a password manager as well, so you don't have to rely on an outdated Rolodex or that sticky note that's been on your desk forever. There are apps that do all of these things, but there isn't one that tackles everything the way Aura does, which is why I say Aura is a 5-man offensive line and you're the quarterback. So head on over to aura.com/JKB. You can find it in the description and start your free trial today. What up, folks? How we doing? Hope everyone is doing well. I am live, so this is a live stream. I had to apparently say that now since I have people tuning in after the fact, and you know, I have the DVR thing going on, so you know, these turn into videos after I'm done does not mean that I'm currently live. So I am live as of 10:05 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday, March 22nd, 2023. I'm going to start saying that just to avoid confusion. But what is up, folks? Hope everyone is having a splendid night. I am. And I just got off a great show. Just did a nice show on the running backs in this NFL draft. It is draft season, in case you were living under a rock, which no harm in that. I mean, you know, Patrick Starr lives under a rock. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But we got a prospect to talk about because I left last night. When I signed off, we had come to the conclusion that this community wanted the Rams to take Will McDonald IV out of Iowa State with the 36th overall pick. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, it was in last night's live stream. We did a impromptu Rams mock draft community. I had no say in the matter. I mean, I could have had a say, but I chose not to. That's just, I decided not to choose, you know, whatever. Anyway, so why do I bring this up? Well, because you guys got me thinking. And like I said, I was getting to the edge and I finished Will Anderson, going through his tape. I watched Myles Murphy. I watched, you know, some other guys as well. But I had not watched Will McDonald IV. And man, do I like Will McDonald IV. It happens every year. For those of you who don't know me, I fall in love with a new prospect every single year. And there are multiple positions, don't get me wrong. I mean, I could go through them. What, 2017, I know it was George Kittle, right? 2018, God, I'm forgetting you know, they all kind of blend together after a while. But the point is, George Kittle, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, I mean, Jair Alexander, guys that I've just completely fell in love with, you know? So that is something there where I'm like, okay, this is a guy we talked about, we drafted apparently, you know, on the community feed, right? So what are we doing with this, right? Jake, what are we doing? Why are we talking about a prospect? Why is that the focal point of your live stream? Well, it's not. For those of you who don't know, the title doesn't mean that's going to be the entire live stream, but it is going to be the basis of it. And so we're going to start off talking about Will McDonald IV. And why do I like him? Well, I went to the drawing board. As a matter of fact, I watched every game that I could find on Will McDonald IV. And what I came away with is that, yes, this guy's 23 years old. Okay. I understand that might scare some people away. Doesn't scare me away. If it didn't scare you away with Cooper Kupp, I don't know why this is any different. Just because the Rams are rebuilding their defense doesn't mean they can't go out and get surefire talent who are 23 years old. Doesn't mean that BJ Ojulari out of LSU, 20 years old, is a bad pick. But I don't know. I think this guy's a sure thing. I really do. And here's why. I'm going to read off some of my notes. So this guy, watching him, and I'm not going to show any video because it'll get copyright claimed, and I don't feel like dealing with the authorities right now. I say authorities because that's how hard they take it. Anyway, he's a true stand-up pass rusher in a 3-4. Here's the thing, okay? He was used as a 3 and a 4 technique. For those of you who don't know what a 3 and 4 technique are, essentially just think of it in terms of a 3-4 defensive end. You see the issue there? Because I do. The issue is that if you're using a guy as a 3-4 defensive end, he likely has to be at bare minimum 280 pounds and likely needs to be in the 300s if we're being honest. Well, Will McDonald is not 280 pounds. He's definitely not 300, and he's actually 239. He bulked up to, I think, 245 for his pro day and all of that. That poses a little bit of an issue because Will McDonald is undersized for that role, that position, right? And when you are putting in a 6 foot, 6'4", 6'5" guy who's 239 pounds, and you're having him take on double teams by choice, you're having him go in there and take on a guard and a tackle. Not a tight end in a tackle, a guard in a tackle, and going up against the big maulers in the Big 12 conference. Mind you, it's an offensive-minded conference, right? So there's a lot of good offensive linemen. There just are. And when you're going up against a big mauler guard, okay, it's going to be a little bumpy. And while he was used out of position, didn't fit his body type, this guy just balled out. Sack production for days, 30-plus sacks in his career, forced fumbles. This guy, because he wasn't just utilized there, he was used there a lot. But then I'd get reps where I'm like, oh, okay, cool. They're playing him outside, like edge. They're actually letting him be an edge rusher. Okay, cool. Sure enough, blows by the guy. Beautiful spin move. Probably the best spin move in the entire draft. I'm watching him and I'm just like, his length is going to absolutely be a problem. Okay? This guy doesn't let offensive linemen get their hands on him. He's not neutralized at the point of attack. I really, really like him. He is somebody, to me, I think the Rams are going to be really interested in. To me, he's a first rounder. I know we were talking about 36th overall. The Rams need him. He is exactly what they need. They need to go out and they need to replace Leonard Floyd, but they need to basically replace a position that wasn't replaced last year in the starter next to Leonard Floyd. And we'll see what Michael Hoyt does, and I'm very excited for his development, but you can't just assume he's going to be that guy, right? So Will McDonald IV is a legit cornerstone franchise piece if he works out. I mean, he will be the highest draft pick they have made. I don't know. What, since Havenstein? I think maybe Havenstein. And maybe even further. This is 36th overall is big. And we talked about players that were picked 36th overall. You look and you're like, okay, Breece Hall, Javon Holland, right? Deebo Samuel. There's been some really good 36th overall picks. So I'm just looking at Will McDonald and I'm like, you put him on a defense with Aaron Donald. And the thing that I know when I'm watching the tape is this guy has the bend, he has the explosiveness, he has the athleticism, all that. But the thing that I'm hoping the Rams are going to see, and I know they're going to see, the scouts are not going to miss this. He's battle tested. He's already proven in a rare opportunity, a rare position where a team put him in position to fail. 239 pounds taking on double teams in the interior. He's already proven that he's battle tested. He can win double teams. He can hold his own. He can play in the trend. You're not going to play him there in the NFL. But now when he gets into those situations, those scenarios on the outside, he's going to be able to handle them. And that is what battle tested means. So, guy that can set the edge, can defend the run. He's got a pass rush plan, right? I'm excited for this guy. Just as a football fan, I'm excited to watch Will McDonald IV compete on Sundays. But if you are a Rams fan, a guy that has great bend off the edge, he's got great ankle flexion, he just blows up on tape, this is the guy for you. Now, for the offensive line people out there that 100% are all offensive line, I get it, I understand it, but I would prepare yourself for the Rams to potentially take their future pass rusher of their franchise with this pick. If they don't trade down, let's put it this way. If they do trade down and Will McDonald is there, I'm going to be pissed. They got to get him. They got to figure out a way to get him. I've watched Ojulari. I watched Felix Uzama. Felix Anudike Ozama. Anudike Ozama. Yeah. So I've watched Felix Anudike Ozama, who I said was going to be now known as FAU. I watched Will Anderson. I watched Miles Murphy. I watched Ojulari. And I watched Derek Hall. And, some other guys whose names are escaping me. But Will McDonald IV is like my favorite in this draft. Now, Will Anderson is the best prospect. He has the total package. But Will McDonald IV is my favorite. And I think based on where the Rams have gone in the past with athleticism, testing numbers, they like explosiveness, broad jump. They care about that. When it comes to edge, size doesn't really matter for them. I think he is very much in play at pick 36. And I think this is a guy that Snead and McVay are 100% looking at. I think he makes a lot of sense. Now, we could go on and on and on and on about why he makes sense, but we're not going to do that. We're going to talk a little bit more about what he is as a player. Not just if he makes sense, but what is he? I mean, we already talked, he's toolsy guy, high motor, athletic. But the thing that is so fascinating to me is he started playing football late in high school, like very late. Typically speaking, we don't see that very often. Guys that are going to the NFL, they've been playing this sport for years. Now, he's a guy who he starts late and he's played out of position in college and he goes, and now he's set up. He had a he had a great pro day. His numbers are outstanding. I just think he's 100% in play. My only issue, I don't think the Rams are going to pass him up. My only concern is I'm not buying what everyone else is selling. I don't think he's going to be there. I don't. I've seen this before. There's a guy similar to him. He just got paid. Not a ton of money, but he got paid a decent amount for a 1-year deal with the Minnesota Vikings. Yes, I'm talking about Marcus Davenport. Marcus Davenport, UTSA, big, just got the total package. He's raw, but like he's got a lot going for him. Big-bodied defensive end, really good athlete out of UTSA. And I keep talking about him to people, and you guys might not have been in the picture at the time. Maybe you were if you've been following me since the beginning of DTR, but I wrote article after article about him. I was like, oh man, this is the guy the Rams cannot miss. Okay. And so they missed on him because I was getting all excited and he went in the first round. And that's the thing. I'm kind of seeing the same thing with Will McDonald. I'm not trying to get your hopes up or dim them down, whatever. But I'm telling you right now, this guy is the real deal. The only reason he would fall is if a team doesn't like there's multiple reasons. First off, if they don't like his lack of football experience. If that's something that bothers him, which is stupid, he'll fall. Another thing, he's 23. I don't give a crap. I don't. Talent is talent. Okay. So what? I lose 2 years out of him. I know I'm still getting a really good player. If we did that with Cooper Kupp, well, the Rams wouldn't have Cooper Kupp. So I don't care about the age. And again, I'm talking about a team that picked Cooper Kupp. So I don't think they care about the age either. So that's something to keep in mind. Also, can we stop making 23 out to be like it's so old? I mean, come on now. I mean, just think about it. Oh, well, he's going into his prime when he goes into his contract year. 27. Okay. And then you sign him to another deal, and guess what? You can have him until he's 32. 5 more years. That's 9 years. So 9 years, and you're getting him, until like right out of his prime. It's okay. It's not a big deal. We put so much emphasis on age and all of that. It's kind of ridiculous, right? Anyway, back to my whole point. So I've told you about guys like this before, and if I haven't told you directly, then I said in the past. I wrote in the past for DTR. Like, Marcus Davenport is the first guy that comes to mind. I loved that guy. Then it's always funny. I'll be like, oh, yeah, Corey Davis. Corey Davis goes top 5. Oh, yeah, Marcus Davenport. He goes in the first round. Oh, yeah, Jair Alexander. The injuries might push him down the board. No, they did not. Talent is talent. Todd Gurley tore his ACL right before the draft, like the season before the draft. And people were concerned, and I said he's still going to go top half of the draft. And I was concerned to a degree, but I knew a team would take him. I didn't know it would be the Rams. 10th overall. Talent is talent. I mean, I don't know. I think, like, what could hold a guy like that back from going in the first round? That's what I find hard to believe. What real thing could hold back a player like that from going in the first round? I don't think there's many things out there. I don't. Do you know any? I mean, think about it. He's got everything. He doesn't have, like, great pop. He's not a hard hitter. He's not Jadeveon Clowney. He's not going to end up on the top 10, hits of the year on SportsCenter, if they even do that. He doesn't convert speed to power all that well. I don't care. Find me a guy that can do a spin move like that. You're talking about either Dwight Freeney or DeMarcus Ware. It's like, I don't know. I have a really good feeling about him. Really good feeling about him. And I just, if he's there at 36, this is a no-brainer. Les Snead, Sean McVay, sign out that draft card, put him in there, let him play with AD, no-brainer. But my thing is, I think he's that good, and, he's trending upward with those testing numbers. I think he's going in the first round. If you're a team like, I don't know, Philadelphia, you have some older pass rushers. Why wouldn't you consider it late in the draft? Late in the first round? Why wouldn't the Chiefs? 31st. The Bills. I mean, Von Miller tore his ACL his first year. So, I mean, I'm not convinced he's getting out of the first round. Now, here's one way he could get out of the first round. Ready for this? This will make you feel a little bit better. Will Anderson, Miles Murphy, Nolan Smith, Tyree Wilson, Keon White, Lucas Van Ness, Derek Hall, Felix Anudike, Uzama, BJ Ojulari. All those guys. Tons of talent. That's the one thing that could push it. Because this edge class is so good, I would consider double dipping. Do you remember when the Rams, I don't remember what draft it was. They had 3 second-round picks. And one of those picks, he didn't end up being anything in the NFL. He suffered a serious injury, life-altering and everything. Isaiah Peed, that was really unfortunate. I'm glad he's okay, right? But one of those picks was Isaiah Peed. The two of the other 3, right? Trumaine Johnson and Janoris Jenkins both ended up getting big contracts. Not all of them were brought back. Janoris went to multiple teams. I believe he signed with the Giants, if I'm not mistaken. But he went all over the place. He was with the Saints. I think he was on the Niners now. Like, he went all over the place. Trumaine Johnson signed a big deal with the Jets. So both those guys ended up working out for the Rams. They didn't sign to multiple, deals. Like, they couldn't pay both of them. But they got a pretty good comp pick for Janoris Jenkins, right? And Trumaine Johnson, I mean, they ended up, they gave him the franchise tag. Let's not forget that. So here's my thing. This is my thinking. And I'm not saying I'm 100% sold on this idea. But man, you got some holes to fill. And I don't know if you could argue anything is more important than pass rusher on the defensive side. Because one way to combat a bad secondary or a weakened secondary, let's not call them bad, we don't know, but a weakened secondary, one way to do that is to make sure you're not giving a quarterback any chance to throw the ball. You got AD, right? Bobby Brown was playing some really good football down the stretch. Michael Hoyt is back. We'll see what ends up happening with him. But if you go out and you get Will McDonald IV, and let's say you get Felix Anudike-Uzomah or BJ Ojulari, probably not Ojulari. He probably won't be there. So let's just say you get Uzomah, right? To go with Will McDonald IV, that's a pretty good looking double dip right there. Am I wrong? Like, that's a pretty damn good double dip. That's how you do it. That's how you fix your edge. I mean, Anudike-Uzomah is ferocious. He's relentless to get to the ball carrier. It's a lot of fun to watch his tape. Andre Carter's another one out of Army. Thule from USC. I haven't watched too much of him, but yeah. Nick Herbig. Yeah, Darren. I mean, I think those are all good names. But I think you definitely have to consider, and I would say a later round pick, the guy that I'm very high on, he's out of Kansas, Lonnie Phelps. If you guys haven't watched Lonnie Phelps, he's fun tape as well. He's relentless. He's ferocious. He's another one of those Big 12 pass rushers. I love Big 12 pass rushers because that's one thing. You want to say the Big 12 is more offensive minded, fine. But that's one thing. When they're recruiting guys, they want good pass rushers because they know they're going to need them. You're going to need a good pass rusher to beat out a really good offensive tackle or an offensive guard or an offensive center. And that's just the way it is. And so you get these athletes coming off the edge. You get, your FAUs, you get guys like Will McDonald IV. You get Lonnie Phelps. Phelps killed it at the combine. Killed it. I mean, if you get 2 of those 3 guys, I think that's a pretty good start. So, yeah, I think a double dip might be in order because they really don't have much on the edge. And I like Daniel Hardy. I think he deserves a shot, and he'll get that shot. He'll get a chance to battle these guys out in camp. I think it'll make him better. I mean, at the end of the day, you get 2 guys in this draft. This is a great pass rusher draft. This is a great running back draft, in my opinion. Quarterback, it is top heavy. There's some guys that are, there, but it's top heavy. And I haven't watched a ton of the other positions. But I will say, I've watched quite a few edge defenders so far. And Will McDonald IV just blew my mind, honestly. Like, I'm just like, this is the guy they need. So, toolsy guy, a guy that's going to come in. I think he starts day one. No question about it. Day one starter. You get him at 36th overall. Boom. There you go. Little lean. Rams don't really care. They can make it work. The athleticism is freakish. I mean, I think it makes sense. I think Lonnie Phelps, maybe fifth round makes sense. I will say, guys, they have 3 fifth-round picks. 100% expect Les Snead to trade 2 fifths for a 4th and a 7th. I'm calling that right now. Put that in writing. A 4th and a 7th for 2 fifths. It's going to happen. 100%. He's going to want to get a 4th rounder. I know it. I know it's going to happen. That's how they're going to get their 4th rounder back. Yeah, they're going to have to hit on most of their picks. Absolutely. I agree with that. Definitely agree with that. I mean, the Rams have they've selected some guys that I've wanted before. They have. Like David Edwards in the 5th is, I mean, I want him. I think Alexis had a 2nd. I had a 3rd on him. Grade as far as that's considered. And he went in the 5th, and that was a great pick. I think it's another example, guys. Just because they're picking in the 5th round doesn't mean those can't end up turning out to be great picks. David Edwards is a starting caliber guard. That worked out for them. Regardless of what you say, if you're getting a starting caliber guard in the 5th round who started however many games, you hit on that pick. Just like Jordan Fuller. Jordan Fuller is he's already ahead. No matter what ends up happening to his career, if he ends up being a bust the rest of his career, whatever, or he just disappoints, he has already been worth that 6th round pick. 100%. 199 overall. You don't always have to be Tom Brady, but Jordan Fuller's hit on that pick. Nick Scott, beyond hit on that pick in the 7th. Nick Scott didn't have to become a starter, and he had already hit on the pick. 7th rounders don't always make the team. I mean, let's think about that. Chris Garrett, gone. He was on the team for 1 year, dealt with some injuries. We were excited about him. Gone. Sam Sloman, do I have to really even say? I mean, 7th rounders aren't guaranteed. So, yeah. And they're definitely not a guarantee. I mean, didn't the Rams, they drafted 2 guys from Mizzou. They drafted Bud Sasser, who never played. And they drafted Michael Sam, who didn't make the team. So, yeah. Jake Funk. Well, as much as I want to dog on that pick because I didn't love it, and I felt like there were better players. I mean, there was literally a better player. Kylan Hill, if you guys remember him, was available, and they took Jake Funk over Kylan Hill, which I was like, why would you do that? But anyway, it's not a bad pick because 7th rounders normally don't stick with the team, and Jake Funk was on the team for longer than I expected. So I wouldn't say it's a total hit, but it's not a miss, if that makes sense. Skoranek is a hit. No matter what he does from here on out, he was a hit. Because he's a 7th round wide receiver that has honestly played more for the Rams than he did for Notre Dame. He's had a bigger role with the Rams than he had for Notre Dame. To me, that's a hit. I mean, that's how it turned out. Darion Kendrick, no matter what happens, no matter how bad he is the rest of time, that's a hit. You don't get a guy like that in the 6th round and have him start his first year without calling that a hit. Whether he deserves to or not is relevant. You drafted a starting corner in the 6th round. Hit. Quentin Lake. Hit. Right? 6th rounder. Clay Johnston's a miss because he didn't even make the team. Terrell Lewis. 3rd rounder. That's when the value starts to go up, right? When you're getting guys in the 3rd round, you expect more than just, hey, you're on the roster. You got to be. I think Terrell Lewis was a miss. I think they absolutely missed on Terrell Lewis. I think they missed on Terrell Burgess. I would say part of the problem is Lewis's knee. He had some injury concerns, some weird stuff going on there. With Burgess, I don't think they gave the guy a chance. I don't think Burgess ever got a chance to win a job. No way. I think they were enamored by Jordan Fuller in that draft, in that class. And it was like the meme where the guy's looking at that one girl and not paying attention to the girl that's with him. That meme. That was the Rams. Ooh, Jordan Fuller? And Terrell Burgess was the 3 round higher pick, and he's getting ignored. So I'd say they missed on Terrell Lewis. They missed on Burgess. Darrell Henderson, I'd say they hit on. I mean, it wasn't a massive splash, but third round, you're typically not going to get a star all the time. You're not always going to get a Cooper Kupp. They traded up to get Henderson, and he was a fantastic pass protector. And he was a guy that gave him, he scored touchdowns. He was productive, and he helped him. They just didn't use him a ton. But when they used him, he was productive. He was consistent. Cam Akers has to keep it going, because if Cam Akers keeps this thing going, then yeah, that second round pick, 52nd overall, was a hit. Absolutely. If Cam Akers keeps this up, he was a hit. One bad year doesn't ruin anything. And I'm honestly, like, he made up for it at the end of the year. So really, Cam Akers hasn't had like a bad year. He just tore his Achilles. It doesn't make it a bad year. He came back and took him a little bit to get going. But, if Akers figures it out, if he figured it out and, he ends up being like he was at the end of last year, then yeah, that's a hit. So that's correct. Chris Givens was absolutely a hit. Brian Quick was absolutely a miss. Quick had one chance, and that was when he had Austin Davis, who actually wanted to throw the ball down the field. The Rams ruined Austin Davis, never really gave him much of a chance. They blamed all the fumbles on him, all sorts of stuff, whatever. That was the most we had ever seen Brian Quick kind of emerge. I mean, we saw him emerge a little bit later on. He's not as much of a bust as I expected. I did not like that pick, to be honest with you. And the decision on that pick scared the crap out of me. When Les Snead said we were looking for a Vincent Jackson, I was a little concerned. The late, great Vincent Jackson. I still can't believe, that whole thing happened with him. But I was a little concerned because I just didn't feel like that's who they needed. And I don't know. I didn't like the pick of Brian Quick. He ended up being better than I expected, but still. Stedman Bailey, to a degree, was a miss, but I liked him. Tavon was a miss, and I love Tavon. Tavon got another contract. That doesn't make him a hit because he shouldn't have gotten the other contract. As much as I love Tavon, he did not earn that other contract. To be fair, I don't even think they knew how to use him. So you drafted a guy who probably could have been explosive anywhere, but they just didn't know how to use him. So, So with the Will McDonald hype train, I just want to be very clear. I did not watch a ton of tape on him until after our, little session, right? When the community made their own mock draft. That is when I started watching his tape, and I was like, oh crap, okay. And I just kept saying, okay, all right. And by the time I was like, let's go, it was just a gradual, going up and up and up and up and up. And he's very, very exciting. Ebukam. So, okay, they traded 2 5ths to get a 4th Ebukam. And yeah, I'd say he was a hit. 4th round pick. I would have liked him to be better, but I think he played a decent role. And like I said, he could have been better, but 4th rounders typically, they're not going to be great. Jason Smith was an absolute bust, period. I'd love it. I'd be all for if they could get John Johnson and Troy Hill in the building. Get some veteran presence in the back end of the secondary. Have some guidance for the young guys. I'd be all for it. And I think it'd help a big time. All right. So here's this is funny. This is funny that you bring him up. So Donnie Avery, right? I love this. Okay. So today the Jets traded away Who the hell did they trade away? They traded away Elijah Moore. All right. And, you mentioned Donnie Avery, and that was the first thought that came to mind. Can we admit, as a community right now, Elijah Moore is overrated? Can we admit that to ourselves? Just Elijah Moore is overrated. He is. There were people freaking out. Oh my God, the Jets just traded this star. Where did I miss something? Did I miss 446 yards the first year? His second year, 538 the first year. He's had 6 touchdowns. Yeah, but here's the thing. He didn't have a quarterback. Neither did Garrett Wilson. They were playing with the same quarterback. Garrett Wilson becomes the offensive rookie of the year, and Elijah Moore is getting lauded for almost having 1,000 yards in 2 seasons. And Elijah Moore complained when they were 6-3 on a 5-game winning streak. Elijah Moore wanted to be traded. Straight up. I'm not getting my targets. I want to be traded. He cussed out the Rams offensive coordinator right now, Mike LaFleur. Very unprofessional. I mean, why was he so entitled? Like, 22 years old. What? I don't understand it. Like, I heard how this guy is going to be like such a focal point for the Jets rebuild. So you're probably like, Jake, what does that have to do with Donnie Avery? Well, it's exactly. So I was a big Donnie Avery fan when I was a kid. Really liked him and felt like he was underrated. And honestly, Donnie Avery in a Sean McVay offense early on in his career probably has 1,000 yards. Full stop. So I thought about this today, and I was like, what player? I'm looking at Elijah Moore's stats. And you should see Twitter. Everyone's like, oh my God, he is going to absolutely light it up in Cleveland. What? Why? He's not that good. He's a guy who got like hyped up in the draft. I thought was a little overhyped. And then the NFL, he shows a little something in 2021, and now 538 yards is really good. I don't understand this hype. I don't. And I thought about it, and I was like, this is reminding me of something. What is this reminding me of? And it's not necessarily that it's reminding me of a specific instance, but it's reminding me of somebody very similar, and that is Donnie Avery. And I'm like, Donnie Avery had 674 yards his rookie year on that 2008 Rams team. 3 touchdowns. And he never got any of the publicity that Elijah Moore got, having 538 yards and 5 touchdowns. And then in his second year, Donnie Avery has 589 and 5 touchdowns. In 2009, that St. Louis team. And there's a lot of similarities. Think about it. The whole quarterback controversy. Things are up in the air. What the hell's going on? Are they sticking with Mark Bolger? He goes 1-7. Oh, Kyle Bowler here and a Keith Knoll there. So it was a revolving door at quarterback, just like it was for Elijah Moore. And Donnie Avery in both seasons had a better year than Elijah Moore. He tears his ACL, right? Then he goes to Indy after, I think he had a cup of coffee with Tennessee. He goes to Indy 3 years later, 2 years after the ACL tear, 781 yards, 3 touchdowns. No one wants to talk about him. Goes to Kansas City, 29 years old, 596 yards, 2 touchdowns. No one mentions him. Avery was a decent player. He retired early, 30 years old, but he's a decent player. But here's the thing. What I'm seeing here is Elijah Moore is like Donnie Avery. Elijah Moore's short. Donnie Avery was short. Elijah Moore's fast. Donnie Avery was fast. Donnie Avery was a little bit overrated coming out of Houston. And Elijah Moore is very overrated coming out of Ole Miss, who, let's be honest, Ole Miss has had a lot of success. A.J. Brown, DK Metcalf. I get it. Van Jefferson went there. He transferred to Florida, but he did go there. But I guess I'm not getting it. Like, I see a lot of free Elijah Moore. Free him? Why? Dude didn't want to be a part of a 6-3 football team. I mean, tell me where your priorities are at without telling me. Or then again, you're literally telling me where your priorities are at. You'd rather have more targets than you would wins. How is that going to help? I'm sorry, I had to throw that in there because you guys know how this goes. We talk about whatever on this channel. And it's just funny, you brought up Donnie Avery, and that was literally what I was thinking of today. I was like, oh my God, Elijah Moore is Donnie Avery. Elijah Moore is modern day Donnie Avery. And we're freaking out about him. It's not off topic. It's actually more on topic than my little spew was. Kind of off topic, but in my opinion, a combo of Will McDonald and Andre Carter could be nasty if they're still on the board. Yeah. So I've been seeing some mock drafts, Rams community and such. Guys, Will McDonald, I don't even know if he's going to fall to the second. I can tell you for all hell, he is not falling to the third. You're not getting him at 69. You're definitely not getting him at 77. I've been seeing that. I'm just telling you right now, that is not happening. This guy can flat out ball. And he did. The only reason he's going to fall, he's 23. Some people might find that annoying. Some people might not draft him because of that. Right? So he's 23. He was played out of position. So there are times on tape where you're like, oh, he's getting bodied. He's really not. He's a 239-pound outside linebacker that they're having play the 3-tech. So you got guards and tackles combining going up against him in double teams. I don't know what you expect him to do. So that's another thing. That's where the scouts will come in and be like, all right, clearly he's being played out of position, all of that. The other thing, he started football late in high school. I don't think it's a huge deal, but maybe some people might have a problem with that. And number 4, there's a lot of talent at the position. So maybe he just falls because there's so many freaking good edge defenders in this draft. If he's there at 36 and the Rams do not select him, I don't know, man. I don't know. Because I said last year, you guys remember, I wanted them to draft Dominique Robinson. I fell in love with the guy, and then all of a sudden, I like him in the 3rd, right? My last mock draft, I got to find it. I had him going in the 3rd, I believe. And he falls to the 5th round, and the Rams didn't address the edge defender spot until the 7th round. So I mean, I'll say this right now. This is not a draft for the Rams to wait until the 7th round. This feels like a draft very similar, reminiscent to Terrell Lewis, where there's going to be a lot of talent and you're going to have to pick somebody on day 2. You'll have to. No doubt about it. You'll have to pick a guy on day 2. FAU. Yeah, I really like FAU. Nolan, I don't know if you were in here when I was talking about that. How would you guys feel about a double dip of FAU and McDonald? I think I'd feel pretty good about that. Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Who are you going to replace, Floyd with? I mean, there comes a point where if you let too much time go in the draft and you're like, I'll address the edge in the late 3rd round. Well, now you've passed the opportunity to get guys that can start for you right away. So that's tough. That is a tough decision to make. But yeah, I all over McDonald, all over FAU. Ojulari's 20 years old, so if you don't care, if you do care about age, you want him to be young. You want to, you want to get guys on contracts, their second contract going into, age 24, 25, then yeah, Ojulari's for you. But yeah, Felix and McDonald, Jesus. So people ask me, what's a comparison? What would you give a comp for somebody that knows football but hasn't watched tape on Will McDonald? I mean, I hate to go this route. I feel like he's kind of similar to, well, first off, he reminds me a little bit of Ngakoue. If you remember Yannick Ngakoue out of Maryland, kind of freaky athlete, right? Also has some Hassan Reddick to him. But he also kind of reminds me a little bit of DeMarcus Ware and Dwight Freeney. So it's not one comparison. I think his game has multiple elements to it. I think he's got similarities to Yannick Ngakoue. I think he's got similarities to, Dwight Freeney. I think he's got similarities to, DeMarcus Ware. And I don't know, like that's kind of where I see him. Now, Felix Anudike Uzama, when I'm watching him, I see a guy right away. I see Carl Lawson. So that's somebody. Wait, what's going on? Is there something going on in the comments? Something on Twitter? Let's see. Something about A-Rob on Twitter? I think he's getting cut if they can't find a trade. Let's see. Fernando, you said PFN reported A-Rob is cooked. Like, what do you mean by that? I'm curious because I don't see anything on here. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything on Allen Robinson. I've been monitoring it because I feel like this is, the last thing that was reported, the Rams have given wide receiver Allen Robinson's agent permission to seek a trade. LA is willing to pay a portion of Robinson's $15.25 million guaranteed salary to facilitate a deal per sources. March 6th. Hasn't been anything since. And I feel like I don't know. Yeah, I don't see anything on that. We won't entertain that until it. Yeah, but yeah, back to my whole point about Anudike Uzama. I see a lot of Carl Lawson in him. I really like Carl Lawson coming out of college. I kind of see that ferocity. I see, this is a guy that I think it's funny. He's not fast, but he is. Like, it doesn't look like he's super fast. It doesn't look like he's super explosive, but he moves. Like, it looks like he's barely running, and then he's at the quarterback like that. Nolan, I know you know what I'm talking about because you've watched him. I also see Harold Landry too. I don't see Harold Landry. I don't see Harold Landry with Will McDonald, but I kind of take it easy, Exotic. I kind of see him with FAU. So, yeah, I mean, FAU. Who do you guys think will be there at 36? Who are we looking at? I mean, if we're being nice and we're just gonna say it happens, I'll keep Will McDonald, even though he's my number 2 edge rusher so far, only behind Will Anderson. Let's say Nolan Smith is not getting out of the first. It's not happening. I'm sorry. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying Nolan Smith in he's getting out of the first round. So I'd probably say Keon White, FAU, Will McDonald, Derek Hall, Van Ness, maybe, Ojulari, maybe. Appreciate you, Josh. Yeah, it might be tough. I don't know. I could see a team. See, that's the thing. Like, we don't know how the first round's going to go. It's going to be hard, man. It's going to be hard to watch the first round. Hopefully you'll be watching with Alexis and I. We're planning on doing, maybe having some guests on too, but we're doing our draft show this year in case you guys don't know. So we'll be live throughout the whole draft, day 1, day 2, and day 3, going through the whole thing. Excited, but it's going to be a lot. It's going to be hard to sit there and watch another first round where the Rams don't pick. So it is going to be hard to watch, especially hoping that McDonald doesn't get, like, if I hear Will, anytime I hear Will, I'm going to have my heart drop, you know. And keep in mind, if he does get past the first round only has 31 picks this year because one of the picks got taken away. I think was it the Dolphins or the Saints? One of those picks. I think it was the Dolphins. They lost the first round pick. So since one of the picks was taken away, there's only 31 picks in the first round. I knew it. It was the Dolphins. Thank you. So then you have 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. So you're still going to have to wait a few picks and then you pick at 36. So I don't know, man. They're going to say Will, and every time they say Will, I'm going to be sitting there with my heart sinking. I know you guys know the feeling. I don't think Cam Newton will be a Ram. No, I don't think that's what they're looking for. But I've been wrong before, so maybe he is. Where do I see him going? I haven't really watched him, so I couldn't really tell you. And I'm not about to fake it to make it, so to speak. So I'll have to, I'll have to look into him. You have Ojulari, FAU, McDonald, Keon White. Okay. Those are the guys that you say will be there at 36. The best pass rushers that'll be there at 36. What's up, TJ? How we doing? Ojulari, Felix, Derek, and Isaiah. So Edwin does not believe McDonald will be there at 36. And I kind of agree with you, as sad as that is. If McDonald is at 36, we pass on him. I might just end on order the AK pizza. Oh my God. Oh, we'll have to take bets on it. Not really, but we'll have to have a poll. Who here believes that Alexis is going to order her dreadful pizza at some point during the live stream? Donald and McDonald has a nice ring to it. Yes. We'll just have to call him Mickey D's, man. We'll just have to call him Mickey D's. The Rams are now Mickey D's if they go out and they get McDonald and Donald. Oh, I'm hoping too. We'll probably end up calling him MCD, AD and MCD. That's probably what'll end up happening. I have never seen the Rams in 59 years as a fandom. So many good players in 1 year. Yeah, it's tough. Definitely. Yeah, I'm just ready for them to kind of let us know what's going on. I mean, like I said, one of the big dominoes to fall is 100% going to be Allen Robinson. Like, until they trade Allen Robinson, I really don't think much is going to happen. Not on the OBJ front, like in general. because they don't know what they're working with until they get rid of that contract. And if they get somebody to pick it up, then yeah, but all the McDonald's, all come. We'll just go and get TJ's dad, Tim. Just keep it coming. Let's see. Guys, be sure to hit the like button, also known as the thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't already. Love the movement. We're building here. We're continuing to grind, and it's been fantastic. So if you want to be a part of that on our quest for greatness, or whatever you want to call it, please be sure to hit subscribe. You'll never miss another video again. That's actually not true. You can hit the bell icon, and you'll never miss another video again. That's probably the better way to put it. So as of right now, we have 17,754 subscribers. Really appreciate you guys. At some point, I'd love to do a giveaway for my lovely subscribers at some point when I could really afford it. So I want to have a really nice giveaway. I don't know what it's going to be yet. Maybe it's Rams tickets. Maybe, I don't know. Whatever you guys would want, probably put in the comment section at some point. We'll figure it out. At some point, I'm going to have a big one. It's going to be massive. But, you know, it'll only be for subscribers, though. So got to make sure you're one of them. The Rams could always trade up. I probably would hate that, even for Will McDonald. I really don't feel like they're in position to get rid of any of their picks. So, I don't know. I wouldn't be a fan. Let's see. I'd love to get OBJ. I just, you know, we have to see how things play out, because right now it seems like he's waiting. He and Dallas were making some great progress on a contract from what I was told, and then they go out and they trade for Brandon Cooks. So, I mean, what happened there? You know, OBJ had dinner with Josh Allen last season. It looked like he was going to go to the Bills. What happened there? It looked like he was going to go to the Cowboys last year. What happened? So, I don't know. Teams are pulling away. Maybe it'll give the Rams an opportunity to swoop in and be like, all right, Odell, you want to come back. We know you want it. So, I have a weird suspicion he's either going to end up with the Rams or the Jets. I feel like he's going to end up on one of the teams I cover right now. Because when they traded Elijah Moore, the Jets opened up space for Odell. It didn't make any sense to trade for or to sign for Odell if they didn't trade Elijah Moore. So we'll see. When the Rams come to New York, you have to come out and tailgate with us. I'd love to. Absolutely. I want to be like next time. I want to see more people. Problem is, I wasn't really able to plan out any meet and greets, whatever you want to call them. The last time I saw the Rams. So like I had people coming up to me, but like I wanted to have it more planned out where like I'd be at a certain location. If you wanted to meet up, I'd be here. But like it was just, you know, not very organized. So, I had people at MetLife coming up to me like, hey, I watch your videos and you know, we love the podcast. And it was cool. Like I got a picture with somebody, I didn't even like recognize the person or know the person, but, you know, they had said they watched or they listened to the podcast. They weren't on Twitter or anything like that. So, you know, that was cool. But yeah, we'll have to meet up at some point. Definitely. 100%. Always down for it. You'll be there the next time the Rams are in New York? Wow, that was so freaky. That was so all right. So here's one thing that's weird. I have my camera up there, obviously, otherwise you wouldn't see me. But I have the like the sensor, I guess, like it's really odd because it has like it follows my face. And that's what allows like the bokeh, which is the background blur, right? So it's bizarre because like it flashed when I was doing something and like it was so, I don't know. It was so bizarre because like it started flashing and like my, you know, I'm wearing neon And so it just looked so weird for a second. I thought like somebody was like taking a flash photography photo of me. It was really, really weird. Just tripped me out. The more you know. Obviously, you watch this show, you know how it goes. I'm going to, be fascinated by random things that happen, including giant spiders jumping down from the ceiling. That happens. You never know what you're going to watch, witness, hear on JE Live. But I'm always going to try to give you a good time. So, no, I knew what you meant. Yeah, we're thinking of something for the draft. Would love to incorporate Cam. Obviously, no pressure on his end, but we're trying to do something like that. So, no, I'm literally not excited at all. I'm annoyed that upstate New Yorkers have to pay taxes on a stadium. For a stadium that's about 6 hours away, and it's to cover a owner in Pagula who I think has a net worth of $7 billion, if I'm not mistaken. So why are we covering for his ass again? Like, guys, maybe it's just me being a fan of the Rams in me. But Stan Kroenke didn't have any taxpayer in LA, in California, paying for that stadium. And that's how it should be. I'm sorry. You're the billionaire owner. Why am I paying for your stadium? I'm trying to make ends meet. Why is my tax dollars going there? And people will say, well, Jake, tax dollars are already out. You were already taxed. Doesn't matter. Yeah, it does. I want that to go to things that'll make my life better, things that'll make my community better, things that'll upgrade the place around me. They are. Yeah, Buffalo's the only New York team that plays in New York. Still, though, I don't think we should fund their stadium. I think the owners should pay for it. It's really that simple. Like, if you don't have the money to afford it, you don't get a stadium. Like, I don't know. I don't get the handouts. I don't get why we're bailing out billionaires, but we are. So yeah, I could go on and on and on and on and on, but I'm not going to. Alex, you have no idea what you were about to start. Darren, you missed my my billionaire rant. Because I'll say it over and over and over and over again that I don't think taxpayers should have to fund billionaire stadiums. I don't. You're a billionaire. Figure it out. Shouldn't have to fund your stadium. No. Am I getting free admission? Like when I go into said stadium, am I going to get free admission? Do I get automatic free seats? Nope, I don't. Last time I checked that, I don't get that. No. So yeah, no, I'm not okay with funding your, rich stadium that you're going to nickel and dime me with. No, thank you. But that's why I appreciate Mr. Kroenke, because he doesn't believe in that. He just fronted the entire bill. There are other guys like Mr. Dean Spanos that can barely afford to own a team. And for that, I don't feel sorry. You have a lot of money. You're not good at owning. Sell it or give it away. But you don't own the Chargers. You're not doing a good job owning the Chargers. I can tell you that. Nobody respects you. And so, yeah. Anyway, I could go on and on and on about it. How do you think the Yankees will do this year? I think they're going to be pretty darn good. Just, a little concerned by the injuries early on in the year. And it just never ends, right? With baseball, you play 162 games. Of course, you're going to have injuries. So, yeah, it's annoying. Let us give you something, a hat or a jersey, bro. Give me. I'm gonna give you. No. I mean, I'll never deny it, but I mean, my only thing is right now, you have to wait till I can truly afford. I know you're probably gonna laugh. I need to get a PO box because I can't give away my address to just whoever. Just can't. So I gotta get a PO box. That's where I'm at right now. So once I get the PO box, I'll let you guys know, and you can send me fan mail or whatever, and I'll read it all. I'll read it all. But I'll let you know, and when I have that PO box, I'll hit you up, or not. I won't hit you up, but I'll drop it. Yeah, how much is a PO box? I gotta look it up now. Let's see. You can get one through UPS. You can get one through USPS. By the way, if I call something USPS around here and not United States Postal Service, I get like laughed at. I don't know. USPS, and people in New York will laugh at me. Like, just straight up laugh. Like, you're a joke. I don't know why that's showing. What the hell is 3M and 4L? How big should I have this? Okay. A small ass PO box is 166 for the year. So that's an extra small. So a small PO box is $210 for a year. And then a medium is $332 for a year. And a large, well, you would just go with the large because I see what they're doing there. They're trying to get you to go with the large. It's $398 a year for the 12 months of the large. It's 11 by 11 box. And you can reserve right now. Well, I definitely don't have that money, but when I get it, I will do that. Next game will either be good question. I think it's either going to be, I don't even know. Maybe Hogwarts. It really depends on the next time I want to play in, game and talk with you guys on here. I think either Hogwarts Legacy or Forbidden West. I'm getting close to the end of Forbidden West, which is pretty dope. So I am getting that. And I keep telling you guys that the Rams will not be getting Caleb Williams. It's not happening. Appreciate you, Young and Isaac. I'll let you know. Nope. I think I don't remember the exact words I used, but I tweeted out, I'm not paying 120 something for that, for a hat. Yeah, that's probably what I said. Yeah, I'm seeing John Wick part 4, or is it just called part 4 or 4? I don't know. Volume 4, whatever. It's the 4th John Wick, and I'm seeing that movie this Saturday, so I can't wait. I am. And thank you for the 5, Darth Karth. Yes, I am. I actually might play that on here. Not really in a position to buy games right now, but depending on how certain things go, I might get that. And if I do, I'll play it on here. My only problem is I'm not trying to get demonetized. Like, if one video gets demonetized, whatever, it sucks, but it happens, right? But if I get demonetized as a channel, I don't know what I'm going to do. And yes, rest in peace, Lance Reddick. That was so sad. He's in Forbidden West. He's in the first one, Horizon Zero Dawn, as well. He's in Resident Evil, the Netflix TV show no one wanted to watch that I actually somewhat liked. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. I didn't think it was the greatest, but I still kept on watching. And of course he's in John Wick. So I cannot wait for John Wick 4. Cannot wait. Got my best friend watching it. He's I gave him a homework assignment and I'm like, you got to finish all 3 John Wicks by the end of the week so we can go to 4. And he's like, all right. So he only has seen the first one. He better pick up the pace on that. Just got into stream. Who is McDonald IV? He is my favorite pass rusher in this draft. So I think he can really help out the Rams. Toolsy player, very athletic, was played out of position in college, started late in high school. I think he's got really high ceiling, really good upside, and I think he could be a legit starter for the Rams for years to come. And he might be there at pick 36, but we don't know. Maybe not. Where do I think Lamar's going? I just can't help but think it's going to be the Falcons. I don't know why. There's just something there. Like, I think it's going to be Atlanta, but if it's not, then it's probably Indy, if I'm being honest. Maybe even the Patriots. I definitely wouldn't rule out the Patriots. I think the Patriots are in play for sure. I don't see it happening. Hey, I love Caleb Williams. Let's not forget I wear USC hoodies on here, okay? I like USC. I've been a USC fan since I was a little kid watching Reggie Bush. But I'm a realist here. And the Rams, no matter how bad you might think they are, they're not as bad as you think. They're not going 1-16 or 2-15, which is going to be required to get him. They're just not doing it. PlayStation all the way. I sold my Xbox the moment that Microsoft bought ZeniMax and made it so I can't play Elder Scrolls 6 on PlayStation. I sold that Xbox as far as I could sell it. I was done with them. And I don't care how petty that is. That's just how I was. I was pissed. Yes, they are long. I was playing the God of War game before Ragnarok. So I enjoyed it, but I kind of fell out of playing. I don't really game as much anymore. Like, I've started to try to get into it a little bit more as like a stress reliever, but yeah, I don't know. I don't game as much as I used to. Like, gaming used to be almost like my personality, which isn't like a good thing. It's not a flex at all. But it's like when I hung out with people, it was like, oh, hey, do you want to play video games? Now it's like, I don't game that much. When I game, you guys are seeing it, or it's like super late at night, and I probably shouldn't be doing it because I need to get some sleep. Resident Evil 4 comes out in 2 days. Yeah. So at some point or another, I'd love to be able to acquire Resident Evil 4. I never beat the original one. I played a little bit of it, but I never beat it. So this would be a good opportunity to do that. Also Dead Space. But again, those games, I worry about it demonetizing me. That I do worry about that. Now, the positive here, and there is a positive with my YouTube channel. See, I am 27, and the majority of my subscribers and viewers on here, if you guys don't know, the demographic does state they're people more around my age than not around my age, right? So looking at the analytics here, and this is important because, you know, if people report your stuff, then yeah, you're going to have a problem. Let's look. So let's see here. Yeah, 3.2% of my viewers are in the 13 to 17 range. So this isn't like a kid's channel. 25 to 34 is the demographic. 29.5% of all videos consumed are by 25 to 34-year-olds. 18 to 24 years is at 20.5. 35 to 44 years old, 18.5. 45 to 54, 12.1. 55 to 64, appreciate you guys, 10.3. 65 plus years, 6%. And the lowest, people I'm barely even entertaining, are the 13 to 17-year-olds at 3.2. So, yeah, I mean, it's a pretty interesting demographic. The female gender, you know, the demographic, that has gone up over the years. It's now at 5.5%. Male is 94.5. That is, you know, that's that. User specified is 0. I don't know what that is. So, yeah. I mean, that's just, I'm not going to go through all of it. 91% of my viewers are from the United States. 1.6 are from Canada. And then there's a bunch that are shared. It's Canada, UK, Germany, Mexico, Australia, Brazil, India, Japan, Russia, Philippines, Indonesia, Italy, France, Spain, Ireland, Poland. Man, I have people in Ireland that I'm related to, and I'm barely getting any push there. Come on, guys. No, I kid. Poland, Netherlands, South Africa, South Korea, Turkey, Sweden, Thailand, Austria, Malaysia, New Zealand, Vietnam, Bahamas, Egypt, Uruguay, Colombia, Iraq, Puerto Rico, Argentina, Estonia, Israel, Morocco, Bosnia, Belgium, Chile, Denmark, Portugal, United Arab Emirates, Albania, Azerbaijan, I probably butchered that, Bangladesh, Belarus, Switzerland, Setsia, I think I probably butchered that too, and Algeria. So those are all of the countries demographically that are represented. Oh, this is lately. All time, yeah, United States takes the cake at 92%. Canada, United Kingdom, Germany, Mexico, Australia. For what it's worth, we have at least 1,000 views in like 40 countries. So that's pretty cool. 1,000 views. So, I mean, hey, that's pretty dope. I know my friend from Greece, he definitely represents the Greece views there. Yeah, I'm looking. I don't think I've ever looked at this before. I've looked somewhat, but shout out to my Japanese viewer base. Over 10,000 views, 12,000 in the Philippines, 17,000 in India, 28,000 in Australia. Rams, they're starting to get recognized in Australia. Shout out to the Australian Rams fans. 34,000 in Mexico. 38,000 Germany, 54,000 in the UK, 126,000 in Canada, and over 5 million in the United States. And the highest attention span is United States and Honduras. Those are the two highest attention spans. And Slovakia. Who knew? Then Canada, then United Kingdom, then Portugal, then Mexico, Bahamas, Australia, and Puerto Rico. Interesting. Most watch hours, I would imagine the same thing. So, yeah. Fun. The more you know. Always learn your demographics, folks. Never know where this podcast is going to go. By the way, we have a lot of impressions. We have 34 million impressions on the channel. 34 million. I've shown up in the browse feature apparently 14 million times. I'm planning on it. At least the one by my house. I mean, not by it, but, like 3 hours away. I'm planning on going to at least one. I don't know if I'll go to LA, but I wouldn't be against it. If I can afford it, I will. Like, that's always been my biggest thing. Like, I don't worry about that. If I can afford it, I'll consider any of those games, honestly. Yeah, my thing is I just don't want to make like my viewers uncomfortable. It's one thing to play a game every now and then. It's another when the game is super graphic and people aren't coming in here to watch that. Right? Gore doesn't bother me. Gore bothers other people. And when you're talking, you're talking Rams and all that, and all of a sudden you're throwing gore on the screen, it's going to rub people the wrong way. So, I'm just a little concerned about that. That's why, like, my gaming channel, it just didn't really move much. So it's like, I almost feel like it's better to just do it on here. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe someday I'll figure it out, but, They are. Oh, yeah. And I'm sure I'd get heckled like crazy because a lot of Niners fans know me and do not like me. Now, I get some Niners fans on here that are really cool, but, I do have a lot of them that don't like me, so to speak, which, I mean, I can't blame them. I don't know why anybody would go out of their way to like me in the Niner community, if we're being honest. So, you know. Yeah, absolutely. If I go there, I'll let you know. I'll definitely let you know. I'll definitely check out. I'm going to check out like all the edge defenders. It's just getting through that now. Going to have some more videos up. We started out, did Will Anderson yesterday, put out Will McDonald IV today. If you guys want to know anything about Will McDonald IV that I haven't already said, you want to see some video, I have a YouTube short on my channel where I went through it. So, you know. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I love when my eye starts itching and then it gets all like red and puffy. That's just great. Fantastic stuff. My favorite. Oh, guys, did you check it out? What I was saying yesterday with Aura, or not Aura? I mean Aura. Yeah, have you checked out Aura too? But they're one of my sponsors. But did you check out Neuro? Because I gotta tell you, these are amazing. They really are. I woke up today. This is my new kick in the ass, so to speak. If I'm trying to get up out of bed, I'm like, oh, I don't want to. I just pop these mints in my mouth. Boom. I'm good to go. It's amazing. It's just, it's honestly amazing. So I put the link there. Check it out. Try one for yourself. And make sure you use promo code JKB. Guys, I think it's going to do it because it looks like I haven't taken those mints in a while. I took them earlier today, but I need to probably take my second one later. Probably say before I go live. But yeah, I am starting to fall off a little bit. I am kind of tired. I took 2 minutes to start the day, so I'll probably just take one and then do the second one later. But hey, hope everyone had a fun stream. Hope everyone enjoyed it. I hope Will McDonald ends up being a Ram. I still have not put out my mock draft. That was a community mock draft yesterday. We'll get my mock draft out at some point. Oh, I forgot announcement. So AFS has been canceled for this week. We just cannot make it work this week. There's a lot going on, with Alexis. So because of that, we are going to do something we normally don't do. We're going to have 2 episodes next week to make up for it because we feel bad. And we're trying to show you guys, like, look, you should stick with us. AFS is going to be a consistent show. We don't want to get your hopes up and then fail you. So we were really trying to get it to work this week. We just can't make it happen. So next week we're doing 2 shows. So be aware for that. We're really excited to do 2 shows next week. And yeah, so that's all I got, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll have more content as the days go on, and I'll keep you posted on anything that ends up coming up and the giveaway and everything. So you guys take care, and I'll see y'all pretty soon. I would imagine, it's not Thursday yet. It's Wednesday. But I'll probably see you guys tomorrow in some capacity. So, all right, guys. You guys take care. Have a great night. I'll see you guys later. You ever get those ridiculous social media scams where people pretend to be somebody you're friends with and tell you can make a lot of money? I know I do. It's why I'm very excited to partner with today's sponsor, Aura. Aura is an easy-to-use app that essentially packages a bunch of services to stay safe online all in one. Aura protects you from scammers and hackers. They scan the web for all sorts of data leaks and alert you as soon as they find anything. Aura is like the offensive line for a quarterback, consistently offering you protection from suspicious and malicious activity. They have a VPN built in that keeps your browsing history and personal information safe and encrypted. They'll even alert you if someone's trying to open up a credit card or a loan in your name. Did I mention they protect all your devices from viruses, malware, spyware, and any other things so the bad guys can't break in? Aura can even manage what your kids do on their devices. You can set limits and restrict them from specific apps. They have a password manager as well, so you don't have to rely on an outdated Rolodex or that sticky note that's been on your desk forever. There are apps that do all of these things, but there isn't one that tackles everything the way Aura does, which is why I say Aura is a 5-man offensive line and you're the quarterback. So head on over to aura.com/JKB. You can find it in the description and start your free trial today.